Hey you guys, this is Daryl. If you watch my last post, I talked about how I got here. And today, I think it's appropriate for us to talk about the big day, the big call, AKA the call of my kidney transplant. So once I was diagnosed with kidney failure, I felt better. I felt like myself again. So honestly, they was telling me about kidney transplant, but I did not want to get a transplant initially. I felt like my kidneys would kick back, and sometimes they do. So for 7 years, I decided against going for a kidney transplant because I wanted my own kidneys to kick back. Um, just FYI, once you do get a kidney transplant, you have to take medication for the rest of your life. And this medication is a medication that weakens your immune system so that your immune system does not detect a foreign object, which is a transplanted kidney, into your body and attack it. So you have to take these medications daily, to prevent your new kidney from being attacked by your body. That's something that I did not want to do for about 7 years. But once I turned 30, I had a different look on it. I felt that it was time. I felt I was getting older. My kidneys were not going to kick back, and it's time for me to go ahead and take that step and try to get a transplant. So I did everything that I needed to do. I had to take annual assessments, a lot of blood, take stress tests, heart tests, lung tests, all type of tests, just to make sure that my body was equipped and ready to go through a transplant safely. I finally got on the transplant list. There is a transplant list. You have to go to a doctor. They take blood and they test your body to make sure that you're ready for the surgery. Once you are ready for the surgery, they put you on this list. There's thousands of people waiting on the list. And once you are on the list, there are several factors that someone who will become a donor that they have to have in order for you to receive their kidney. Some of them are a skin graft, make sure this is the same skin test, and also blood type. Now, there is something that's new when it comes down to kidneys being given. There's a sharing program to where if you are to give me a kidney and it doesn't match me, but there's someone in this shared program where their kidney matches me, I can give them your kidney and they can give me the kidney that I need, so that both of us who are waiting both receive a kidney. So that's a really good thing for those who are, waiting to get a transplant. We do have an opportunity to swap out kidneys. When I got diagnosed in Atlanta, I went back home to Miami for a little bit, then I went to New York. When I was in New York is when I decided to go ahead and try to get the transplant. And I did some research and saw that the estimated time frame in New York for me was 5 years based on my blood type. So I decided to move out of New York and go back to Atlanta because Atlanta was 3 years for me. So I went to Atlanta, stayed in Atlanta for maybe about a year, or a little bit under a year, and did research back home in Miami and saw it was only 2 years wait. So once I went back home to Miami, within 2 years time frame, I actually received the call. It was crazy when I received it. And just so you know, when it comes down to receiving the call, there are 2 other people called at the same time that you're called. So you might be the first, second, or third person that they call. The first person, they will get reevaluated to see if they're, everything is good for them to get the kidney. If not, they go to the second person. So it's a very strenuous and stressful process. But fortunately, when I got that call, I was the first person. And it was maybe at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm a so hard sleeper, but I heard that call. And I answered the call. They said, "Hey, Daryl, we have a kidney here for you." And I was gone. I got up put on my clothes, went straight to the hospital. They reevaluated me. The doctor came in and told me that I'm ready for the transplant the next morning. It was a couple of hours up into the surgery. They flew my kidney in. It was a very young kidney too. The young guy was 17 years old, and unfortunately he lost his life, and I was able to receive his kidney. It was an experience I can't even describe. It just felt really good that I was about to get my freedom. So once I got that call, I rushed to the hospital. Now mind you, most people have a bag prepared. I didn't have a bag. Again, remember I was young. I was just not responsible thinking. But I woke up real quick, put my shoes on, pants, shirt. I threw a couple of some more underwear in the bags, some shirts and pants, and went out the door. And I just went to Jackson Memorial Hospital. Shout out to Jackson Memorial Hospital. They were amazing. Like, they took me in. They knew who I was when I got there to the center. They took me in. They got me changed into the wardrobe. They started hooking me up with these different needles, IV, putting in a drip in me, getting some blood taken out of me. It was just so much stuff going on at the same time, so fast. So many people in the room just doing different things to get me prepped to see first if I'm ready, and also have me prepped for the surgery. Like, things go quickly. So I didn't have time to call nobody. Things were happening so fast, I didn't even think to call anybody. I was just in a state of, oh my God, things are going so fast. But I'm so excited that this day has finally come and I'm about to receive my kidney. So once I received the transplant, waking up, first thing was, it felt like an elephant was sitting on my stomach. It was so painful in my abdomen area because that is where they cut alongside your abdomen and place the kidney there and sew you back up. Most people don't realize how much your stomach muscles are used. When you talk, when you breathe, literally everything you do, your stomach moves. So every time my stomach moved, the stitches will move and the pain will happen. So it was very painful. And then another feeling that was very, very, very uncomfortable was having a catheter in my urethra through my penis. But after 2 days, they finally took it out. It slid right out. It was such a relief. And I just learned to just breathe shallow so that my stomach doesn't move. I didn't talk much. My friends and family did come to the hospital, but I talked very little because I just didn't want to experience that pain. I was in the hospital for a little time, not too long. But once I got out, I stayed with my sister. Thank you, sister. But I stayed with my sister, and for 2.5 months was my recovery time. For the most part, I sat in a chair. I was in a lot of pain. Just any movement that caused my stomach to contract, that's where the pain started. After those 2.5 months, I felt better. I felt myself again. Oh, another thing I forgot to tell you. While I was on dialysis, before I got the call, maybe about a year before that, I stopped urinating. And that is one of the symptoms that will happen if you continue on dialysis for a long time. Your kidneys will stop working completely, and you will solely depend on the dialysis machine. And if your kidneys completely stop working, no urine is coming out. So for a year, I did not urine. So I had to make sure that I only drank a certain amount of fluid, typically no more than 2 cups of fluid a day. Because if you're not urinating and you continue to drink, then you get a lot of fluid in your body, and typically it's in your hands or in your feet or in your face or all throughout your body, and it's very painful and uncomfortable. So that was one of the diets that I had while on dialysis. Also, a lot of salty foods, had to cut that out. Had to cut out any phosphorus foods, and that's a chemical that's used, or I don't know if it's a chemical or some kind of process that they put in food to prevent food from decaying or dying out fast. So it's in most of our foods. So I had to take medication to prevent a buildup of phosphorus in my blood, and of course the high blood pressure pills. So one of the things that I really appreciated after the transplant was not having to take all those medications. Now my high blood pressure medication I did continue to take, And then, of course, I had to take the immune suppression drugs to prevent my immune system from fighting that kidney. But that was a fair trade-off for a healthy kidney that I received. So after the transplant, no more dialysis. The transplant actually takes the place of dialysis, which meant I had my freedom back. I was ecstatic, so happy. I was able to do the things that a regular, now 30-year-old would be able to do. I was able to get back in the work field, build a career, continue with some great friendships, go back to school. So I do appreciate Jackson Memorial Hospital for that surgery, and of course that 17-year-old kid who gave me that transplant. I think now, with me having to go on dialysis after my kidney failed, I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm more diligent, and I need to do in order to get the kidney, and that's what I'm doing right now. Sharing my story, putting it out there so that people can understand how I got here, what this whole situation is, dialysis, transplant, and looking for a donor, where all of this came from. So I would like to say, I don't know who the family is, but for the family out there who allowed him to be able to donate his kidneys, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. That really, literally changed my life for 7 full years. Thank you. And that is the story how I got my first transplant.